Hey, what's up? What's going on, guys? It's Warpfire here, and I'd appreciate if you guys would watch this entire video, because we are going to be covering something very important for the future of Event Horizon. This may just change everything. Now, what I'd like to discuss is the very fact that the game is it's in a precarious position. I'll put it to you that way. The game is at the point where, for high-level players like myself, the game loses a lot of its beauty that it had at the beginning. Now, you might be wondering, how could this be? And I'll tell you. It's because it just becomes a huge grind and there's not as much customization as there was in the beginning. I mean, it's a great novelty game, don't get me wrong. And we all love Event Horizon. There are certain things that are just only good for so long. And what I wanted to share with you guys was something I've been thinking about for a while now, is to update Event Horizon with a completely new battle system. And how this system would work is you would be able to make your own weapons with a large array of specs. And what it would do is it would total up all of these specs, and if the specs come out to be higher than, let's say, a certain number, then the weapon's a no-go and you can't build it. Now, the stronger the weapon is, the more it'll cost. You know, there are certain things that are more expensive, some are cheaper. And we would also have to balance these weapons and other etc. shenanigans. Now, what would this do? It would set a meta for high damage weapons and shit like that. But that's really easy to counter. Because I could set a weapon with one range and fucking bajillion damage using YOLO's value system for weapons, and it would be OP as shit. Now, that's not very good. Not what we're looking for. No bueno. But what I want to do is very tactically implement YOLO's system for the designing and creation of weapons in the game, because I think it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. He has come up with one of the best ideas in a long time for this game. All he's simply done is come up with a catalog system for the strengths of weapons, and you want to know who's really high on the list? Small missile launchers. Yeah. But you want to know who's the highest on the list? It's Holly Cannon. Why Holly Cannon? Well, because Holly Cannon can be fit on almost any ship. Any flagship using the things. You can't fit it on anything but flagships. But that don't really matter not a whole lot. Because guess what? Holly Cannon's still fucking broken. You might not understand, and you might be like, what the hell are you talking about? And I know. Any of you who don't have the Holly Cannon, or any of you who have the Holly Cannon, know very well how strong Holly Cannon is. And it is nothing to fuck around with. Holly Cannon is very broken right now. Please nerf huge brokes. Too strong. Really, Nika? Really? Can I, like... Fuck. Apparently the speed values are broken right now. Yeah, let's just do this, because I said... Fuck it all to hell. This is what I'm about to show y'all. Like, I'm gonna do some math, and I'm gonna post a spreadsheet. But, I'm gonna get together with Pavel Zinchino, and I'm gonna send him an email. And I want as much support as I can possibly get. Let's try to hit as many likes as possible. Let's try to hit as many viewers as possible on this video, because this is going to be very important. If all goes well, we'll have a new weapon system in place that you can design your own weapons with custom stats. Why is this a good thing? I like the weapons we have now. Shut the fuck up. Not you, Chariot. What I wanted to say was, because let's take a ship like Megalodon, for example. What's wrong with Meggy? Alright? It's just not very good. Meggy lacks a lot of energy capacity, and it's just not built to be a heavily armored ship. It wasn't. Megalodon was built to dish damage and get the fuck out. But what is Megalodon right now? Megalodon's a nuke the fuck out of your enemy with a ton of armor and get your ass beaten. Like, I don't understand what Megalodon is. I don't know, it's like a poser. I don't know. Besides the point. The point of the matter is that one of the weapons that I was thinking of implementing is additional weapon types. We have pulsars, we have plasma webs, and we have all these other weapons, but they just lose effectiveness late into the game. Sure, they're cool, but guess what? They're not effective. They don't deal enough damage. They don't deal enough damage as heavy rockets. Rocket launchers, they're great in the hands of the Empire. Outside of that, they're fucking trash. Nobody uses rockets. Heavy quantum torpedoes, great at the beginning of the game. Usefulness late game, they're effing trash. Shielding systems right now, too effing OP. Point defense system, I can't crack this shit. It's ridiculous. But y'all see what I'm saying, right? Like, half of this shit's just batshit broken. It's broken, Batman. And, also the Colossus. Colossus, I don't know what the fuck Colossus is trying to be. You can't put cannons on a ship that's too effing slow. Like, Colossus is basically just food for high-level players. That's it. Colossus has literally become food for high-level player fleets. No way to say it other than that. And what am I doing? Yeah. I did a rocket Megalodon. I did a rocket, I did a rocket Stalker. I did a rocket Caravel. I did a rocket Scavenger. I did a rocket Colossus. I did a rocket Megalodon. I did a rocket Zeus. I did a rocket. Rockets are just bad. They don't deal enough damage. They don't hit the target often enough. I mean, these missile launcher Mark IIs are way more effective. Longer range, more accuracy, more damage, less energy cost. Why do I need rockets? They might not have as much range, but at the same time, I don't need range when I'm in a fast ship. And the rockets have this really weird thing where they shoot and they accelerate. I don't understand. I mean, I do. In real life, that's how rockets actually work. But in this game, that's just not effective. And they ignore ship speed. So when you launch the rockets, they start off at 0 velocity, I believe. I have to check the specs on that. But I believe they start off at 0 velocity. Again, don't quote me on this. I believe they start off at 0 velocity and then they accelerate up to 40 velocity as they go. Now, here's one of the other problems. Point defense systems energy costs. Whenever you run out of energy, point defense system still activates. And it consumes all of your energy, doesn't even wait for you to recharge. On ships like the Nemesis Veteran, not Double Vet, Nemesis Vet, it's just fucking broken. Now, let's talk about Energy Shield. Energy Shield's also fucking broken right now. Energy shielding, as you all know, if you fought any, and I mean any, what's the name of doofus right now? Any Oracle who you're a high level player and you fought Oracle using energy weapons or missiles or straight up cannons, if you didn't fight Oracle using a laser weapon, you were like, what the fuck? Acid missiles hurt him, lasers hurt him, EMPs are fucking broken against him. Like, they break his shields instantly. Any shielded system, EMPs just melt. And, I believe that's it. That's all that harmed him. Black holes, I hit him with a black hole, hit him with holly cannons, hit him with machine guns, hit him with missiles, hit him with the freaking all the works, and it just bounced off his bubble. That's not how that works. That's not how the old shielding system worked. My point is, Pavel's gotten sloppy. And I don't mean to say that in a rude way, but I mean it. He needs to step up his game. I'm not saying that rude, and I'm willing to do the math for the guy to come up with a better system. But currently, Event Horizon's not going to last very long out on the market. And I'll vouch for Event Horizon, one of my favorite games, if not my favorite game. Now, it might not have what got me started playing video games, but it'll certainly be a favorite for a very long time. But that time is going to be a lot shorter, and I'm sure it is for you bigger players, because once you get all the ships, the game sort of loses its pull. Once you get all the ships, you get all the weapons, you get all the plus 200% damage, plus 50% cooldown reduction weapons, the game just plummets. And I'll be honest, I'm at a standstill because I can't upgrade my ships to keep up with the AI's fucking bullshit scaling. Now, anybody who plays the game and knows the AI scaling truly looks at the algorithm and says, holy shit, Batman, the AI has a 12,000 scale at level 300. If you do the math, 4%, I'll do it right now on camera. Alright? $2,550 times the HP and the damage that a player gets times 10, so that's really what they're getting. And the player's got only the 10 base. Now, granted, we've got 10 plus our 50%. No. So that's really what their scaling is. That's how much more damage and defense they have. Now, defense-wise, this is how much they have on top of us. That just ain't right. How do we counter? Fucking damage boosts. Alright, let's take 1. Plus 400% fire rate. Plus 900% damage. But what if we shorten the gap between those two and we say 700? That's what you get. 64 times the damage. And that still takes us a long ass time to kill those enemies, doesn't it? But if you account for what the hell's going on? Oh. Plus 200% damage times 2 divided by 3, so the fire rate, you get 150 times the DPS. But if you ignore all this, this is what your actual damage is. Yeah, that's correct. Okay, so hold on, it's not that. It's 1. Yeah. This is what you get. That's your damage boost. Now your energy costs go to 0.67. Now, you might be wondering, what does all this mean? All this technical mumbo jumbo. What I'm trying to say is, if we implemented a better weapon creation system, a system that literally allows us to customize and produce our own guns, you could probably attract a lot more players to the game, boasting a near infinite supply of weapons. Now tell me that doesn't sound attractive. That you could build whatever the fucking weapon that you want, as long as it's within certain parameters. For balance purposes, of course. Now let's set the balance parameter at 20. Now if any of you are from the Event Horizon Discord, then you know what I'm talking about. We're talking about YOLO's calculation system for weapon systems. Oh, let me see this shit build. YOLO's weapon calculation system accounts for a lot of things. Now, what I could do is I could add a lot of spread to weapons and stuff like that and get number systems, and I'm doing all sorts of shit trying to figure out how to better YOLO's system. Because ultimately, you need to account for every single facet of a weapon. Magazine size, spread, all of it. Weight, all of it. Now, module size might as well include weight as well. Energy cost, range, AoE. Is it special in any way? But I'll come up with the algorithms for that. What I want you all guys to do is I want you to like this video, and I will show it to Pavel Zinchnio. I hope I'm pronouncing that correct. I don't mean to butcher your name. Love the game, but it's time for an update. And I don't mean Event Horizon Frontiers. That was not what we wanted when we played this game. Now, what this would give us is it would give low-level players would start off with just the basic weapons. Now, once you unlocked every ship in the game, you would get what's called blueprint points. Now, these blueprint points would enable you... And by the way, you can purchase blueprint points ahead of time to unlock everything automatically. Oh, shit. I've got negative weight. A lot of negative weight. Oh, fuck. $46 weight. Okay. So, don't go negative on the weight scale system. Because apparently the game no longer likes that algorithm. Just saying. Jesus Christ. We lost 8 points of weight in one hit. See, it's shit like that. Like, why do ships get such ridiculous speed? And on some ships it's alright and it's not that big a deal. But on others? What the fuck? Well... Alright. Now what do we need? Let's make an objective board. I'm going to make an objective list and we're going to send it to Pavel. This objectives is going to be very important because it's going to define the future of the game. If everything goes well. I'm going to say... Excuse me. My voice is kind of hurting from all this speaking. Should probably drink some water. Skin decals for Sprite costs. Damn, that is an effective ship. What I want is decals. Decals like this. Like, let's say you want to color a ship. Like Leviathan or some other ones. And you want to, like, change the colors on the ship. Let's say you want a brown tarantula. Or let's say you want a camouflaged scout. Or let's say you want a Leviathan with stripe marks. Or let's say you want a Colossus with skulls on it. Or let's say you want... You see what I'm saying? Like, let's do something interesting that you can spend stars on. Let's make stars a more usable currency. Because stars as they are right now are great and all, but they're really only used for weapons. The production of weapons and at stores. One of the things that Pavel did right was he added the neutral base. Neutral base is very good. I like that idea. Neutral base gives me a lot of loot. I like loot. I don't like too much loot. I don't like having to sell a bajillion trash items. That's one thing that I do not like, and that's why I don't do endurance runs anymore. Thinking. On top of decals, let's have weapon creation. That's something I talked about all game. Weapon creation is a big deal because it allows us to design our own shit. And we might not like Plasma Thrower Mark II. Alright. Let's make our own. We might not. And I mean, there's going to be some effective weapons with this system. There's going to be some garbage weapons with this system. You know? There's also another thing that I wanted to talk about. Ship builds. Ships. How can I put this? Weapons boosts as it is are too effective on larger ships, and it outpaces the need for small ships. We no longer can use small scouts as they are ineffective in combat. Speed is not enough to compensate for the time that it takes to kill an opponent skillfully, mind you, when you only deal like 1/100th of the damage of a battleship. Now, flagships, we're talking like, I'm only dealing like 1/500th of the DPS. And that shit's just not okay. I mean, think about it. Put it to you this way. The bigger the ship, the more damage boosters I can fit on it. Right? More damage boosters, more reload boosters I can fit on the ship. If I have a really large ship, I can fit like 20 of each. 20 of each, that's plus 2,500 of each bonus. Now, if I had a scout, and I made the scout much larger, or I made the damage boosts much smaller, it wouldn't be that big a deal. What I'm saying is what we need is a scaling system for damage boosts that works based on a module level. So let's say a ship, picture it like this. You notice how Teleporter has an energy cost that is proportional to the size of the ship. What I'm proposing is that damage boosts and reloaders have a boost that is proportional to the size of the ship. So the bigger the ship, the less a damage boost that it gives you for its size. What this would mean is that it would be changed to be less effective on larger ships. Because ultimately, I'm very tired of seeing battles where it's no fun because I instantly obliterate my enemies. Or my enemies instantly obliterate me. Put it to you this way. I can't find a fucking enemy with this ship that wouldn't instantly annihilate me or get instantly annihilated. It's that simple. I mean, look at it. I bump into him and he fucking explodes. Or, I go fight a level 300, miss, and he explodes me in one shot. Because their damage and defense scales proportionally. Ay, ay, ay. So, what else are we going to talk about? Let's see. Tricky dicky. Mines. I know, everybody's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Plasma Thrower Mark II. Let's look at Plasma Thrower Mark II. Plasma Thrower Mark II is essentially like Oil Slick, but damaging and not slowing and weird. And it's essentially the biggest joke in the entire fucking game. Like, and Pulsar Mark 1. Yeah. Plasma Thrower Mark II and Pulsar Mark 1. The biggest trash objects in the entire effing game. Why are they even in the fucking game? Nobody uses them. Nobody has found an effective build for them. Why would you waste your time using a Pulsar Mark 1 when you could have a Pulsar Mark 2 in the same exact effing spot with longer range? And who would use a Pulsar Mark 2 when Pulsar Mark 1 is just not a Pulsar Mark 2, a Plasma Thrower Mark 2, when Plasma Thrower Mark 1 is just so much more effective? And who even uses Plasma Thrower Mark 1 unless it's on a Kraken or a S-slot ship that fits it correctly? I mean, I can barely use a Plasma Thrower as it is, based on its everything. And this game isn't based on dealing shitloads of damage, it's based on skirmishes. And that's what we'll call this Skirmish Horizon. I'm not kidding, it's basically one-shot battles. Whoever hits first wins this game. Unless you're, like, late game, it's basically whoever hits first wins. Doomstar. You ever seen a Doomstar battle? You ever seen me use Doomstar on camera? No. Why? It's fucking boring. Do I like using Death Ray? No. It's fucking boring. One-shotting your opponents. Oh, and let's talk about Holly Cannon. Holly Cannon's so fucking broken right now. It's got like 2.2 times the effectiveness of Death Ray. And here's the fun part. For all you high-level players, you can mount it on any fucking ship you want. I've made Overlord a goddamn monster. I made Colossus a huge boon. Let's go and just wanted to show you guys that. Let's restore the database. Colossus. I wanted to show you guys this. This is what I've built using the new pots for flagships. This is the most effective build that I could come up with. You might be laughing at me right now. Don't fucking laugh. This thing is a monster. At level 50, I'm taking down high-level bases. $4K a shot. When the starbase only deals that much. But here's the thing, I can afterburner, and look how fast my Colossus is going now. These missiles are basically useless compared to the damage that those cannons produce. Now, I'm going to go down after doing this, but I'm not going to give my enemies any leeway. And we're going to lag because I'm streaming this, because I thought there would be more viewers. But my point is, what the hell? Now, this would be fine and all if hover cannons came for other ships as well. Another thing that's really broken, repair array. I can't tell you how broken repair array is. Another thing that's really weak, drone defense. Drone defense is so weak. So weak it's abysmal. Drones are like the weakest things in the game. Which they should be, don't get me wrong. There's some drones that don't deserve to be tanky. But like melee drones, like laser drone and the other drones, they all have the same fucking defense. Now, the only drones in the game that are really tank is those drones from the Empire. And the Colossus drones and the drones from the Veneri. Yeah, Monty Bower agrees. Drones should be buffed a lot. Now, how do we buff them to make them balanced? Because drones used to be broken as shit. If y'all didn't know. Now look at this repair array. How is that balanced? Boom. Let's think. Drone defense needs, I'm talking about like the drone builds. Drone builds need to be reworked. And we need to be able to have access to AI-only drones. Why? For fuck's sake, if you don't understand why, then you shouldn't be watching this video. Another thing we need to have access to, AI-only inertial stabilizers. They're actually called inertial nullifiers. They literally reduce weight by 6,000. Now, what does this need to be nerfed to? About 3,300. I did the math. 3,300 for its weird-ass shape would be most effective reduction of, would be the most effective reduction of weight per size per shape. Per energy cost. So, you reduce the weight by 3,300, which is divided by its shape, which is 7, I believe. And the inertial stabilizers are 4 and 1,500. Now, approximately it should be 8 for 3,000 if you're going from the same math, but we're not. Because it's 4 for 1,500 when it's originally 1 for 300, which means it increases by 20%, by 25% at the next level. Now, 25% increase at the next level is about 3,300, and its energy cost should be stuck at 10. That would be the most effective for the build. Now, you would mainly only use these on flagships. And drones, on the other hand, need more defense on the melee drones and less defense on basically the drones that are just, you know, for whatever. And if you click defense on a drone, I believe the drones should have a defensive buff. Thank you, Monk Bowers. I believe that Overlord needs a rework. I believe that Megalodon needs a rework. I believe that Leviathan is Gucci. I believe that we need hover tanks for all the weapon types, not just cannons. So we need an S-type. We need 2 different S-type. Maybe just 1. Yeah, we'll go with 1. 1 S-type hover tank. 1 S-type torpedo, which mounts a heavy antimatter torpedo. Just heavy antimatter torp. Then we also need a missile launcher version of the hover tank. We need a cannon, missile, S-slot. We need a laser type. Now, laser type needs to be balanced heavily, because I believe that lasers are still a wee bit too strong. Doomstar has its effectiveness, and it's a little too effective in some areas and on some ships, for example. But what I don't think we should mess with, ever, is the designing of ship interiors. And I think Pavel should completely remove the ship bonus modules. Why? Because, did he just appear right in front of me? That's a spawn kid. Why? Because I believe it just looks weird and it bothers me, but more importantly is, if you're not going to add green slots, which is what we all really need, or they're not going to be green-blue slots. I mean, nobody really effing uses blue slots, and half of the time I just throw frickin' inertial, I just throw nanofiber structs. What do we need? We need nanofiber structure Mark 2s and Mark 3s, otherwise known as medium nanofiber structures and large nanofiber structures. 3x3, 2x2. What do? They have a bonus of reducing weight and increasing energy absorption. Because if you think about it, a nanofiber structure should be able to absorb a lot of energy. Should. It should also increase hit points slightly. Very slightly. We're talking like pennies on the dollar increase. But it's enough to be noticeable when you stack a bajillion of them, like I do on ya boy. Because one of my problems is, yeah, we've got the nanofiber structures, but when I add like 600 of them onto the large worm ship, it gets a little ridiculous. And you've literally spent 30 minutes just sitting there adding nanofiber structures onto worm ship. Now, we're going to go into this at a later date, but I'm going to prepare my email and I'm going to prepare my math. And I'm going to send it to Pavel. And we'll see what we can manage. Another thing that I would like to look into is strafing. I'd like to see some strafing abilities on ships. Like just a general ability for you to customize buttons more. But not only that, I'd like to see a ship with the ability to, like, side strafe. You know what I'm talking about? Like, move. Let's say your ship's like this, and you can glide and dodge shots while maintaining a certain direction firing at your opponent. Is something that I would like to see. It would add more variety to the combat, and it would allow the AI to be able to dodge your shots more appropriately. It would make scattershot a pretty deadly effect against enemies like that, because they wouldn't be able to necessarily dodge it. AoE would also nullify that. But things like pulse cannons, ion cannons, EMP torpedoes, like we'd be able to dodge some of that junk. And dodge enemies like, let's say, for low-level players, I'm sure you all know, the ships with the afterburner. But other than that, guys, my throat's kind of starting to hurt, and I believe I've said everything that I've had on my mind, so this is going to be Warping Fire, warping out. I hope you guys have all enjoyed, and I'd like to see some likes, and like Monty Bower said, if we can hit maybe 50 likes on this video, perhaps you can have a little bit of weight when we ask him for these things. That's all I like to see. I love you all, and I'll see you all later. Bye.